New Year's Eve Europe. Albania. Preparations for New Year's Eve in Albania start with a Christmas tree, which in Albania is known as New Year's tree or New Year's pine. At midnight, everyone toasts and greets each other and fireworks are lit. Austria. In Austria, New Year's Eve is usually celebrated with friends and family. At exactly midnight, all radio and television programs operated by ORF broadcast the sound of the Pummerin, the bell of St. Stephen's Cathedral in Vienna, followed by the Donauwalzer, the Blue Danube, by Johann Strauss II. Many people dance to this at parties or in the street. Large crowds gather in the streets of Vienna, where the municipal government organizes a series of stages where bands and orchestras play. Fireworks are set off by both municipal governments and individuals. Belgium. In Belgium, New Year's Eve, Sint-Sylvestervuuravond, Saint Sylvester's Eve, or Oudjaar, Old Year, is celebrated with family parties, called réveillons in the French-speaking areas. On television, a stand-up comedian reviews the past year, after which a musical or variety show signals midnight, when everyone kisses, exchanges good luck greetings, and toasts the new year and absent relatives and friends with champagne. Many people light fireworks or go into the street to watch them. Most cities have their own fireworks display. The most famous is at Montana des Arts in Brussels. Cities, cafes and restaurants are crowded. Free bus services and special New Year's Eve taxis, the responsible young drivers, bring everyone home afterwards. On 1st of January, Nieuwjaarsdag Dutch, children read their New Year's letter and give holiday greeting cards of decorated paper featuring golden cherubs and angels, colored roses and ribbon-tied garlands to parents and godparents, on decorated paper. Belgian farmers also wish their animals a Happy New Year. Bosnia and Herzegovina. New Year is widely celebrated in Bosnia and Herzegovina. Streets are decorated for New Year's Eve and there is a fireworks show and concerts in all the larger cities. Restaurants, clubs, cafes and hotels are usually full of guests and they organize New Year's Eve parties. In Sarajevo, people gather in the Square of Children of Sarajevo where a local rock band entertains them. Several trumpet and rock groups play until the early morning hours. At midnight there is a big fireworks show. Czech Republic and Slovakia. New Year's Eve, Sylvester, celebrations and traditions in Czech Republic and Slovakia are very similar. New Year's Eve is the noisiest day of the year. People generally gather with friends at parties, in pubs, clubs, in the streets, or city squares to eat, drink, and celebrate the new year. Fireworks are a popular tradition. In large cities such as Bratislava or Prague, the fireworks start before noon and steadily increase until midnight. In the first minutes after midnight, people toast with champagne, wish each other a Happy New Year, fortune and health, and go outside for the fireworks. In both countries, all major TV stations air entertainment shows before and after the midnight countdown, which is followed by the national anthem of each country. The presidents of the republics gave their New Year speech in the morning. The new Czech president Miloš Zeman renewed the tradition of Christmas speeches. In recent years, however, the Czechoslovak national anthem is played at midnight, in honor of the shared history of both nations. Denmark. People in Denmark may go to parties or entertain guests at home. There is a special evening meal that concludes with kransekage, a special dessert, along with champagne. Other traditional dishes are boiled cod, stewed kale and cured saddle of pork. However, expensive cuts of beef as well as sushi have become increasingly popular. Two significant traditional events are broadcast on television and radio on 31st of December, the monarch's New Year message from Amalienborg Palace at 6 p.m. and the town hall clock in Copenhagen striking midnight. Thousands of people gather together in Radhuspladsen, the town hall square, and cheer. The Royal Guard parade in their red gala uniforms. The climax of the celebration is fireworks launched as the town hall tower bells chime on the stroke of midnight. After the midnight, all radio and television stations plays Vervelkommen Herrensjaar, Danish New Year's anthem, Kong Christian, Danish royal anthem, Det Horet Windigt Land, Danish national anthem. Estonia. To celebrate New Year's Eve in Estonia, people decorate villages, visit friends and prepare lavish meals. Some believe that people should eat 7, 9, or 12 times on New Year's Eve. These are lucky numbers in Estonia. It is believed that for each meal consumed, the person gains the strength of that many men the following year. Meals should not be completely finished. Some food should be left for ancestors and spirits who visit the house on New Year's Eve. Traditional New Year food includes pork with sauerkraut or Estonian sauerkraut, muldjagopsad, baked potatoes and sweets with hog's head, and white and blood sausage. Vegetarians can eat potato salad with navy beet and pate. Gingerbread and marzipan are very popular for dessert. Traditional New Year drinks include beer and mead, but mulled wine and champagne have become modern favorites. Finland. In Finland, New Year's Eve is usually celebrated with family or friends. Late supper is served, often featuring wieners, Jansson's frestelse, and potato salad. Some municipalities organize fireworks at midnight. Consumer fireworks are also very popular. A Finnish tradition is molibdomancy, to tell the fortunes of the new year by melting tin, actually lead, in a tiny pan on the stove and throwing it quickly in a bucket of cold water. The resulting blob of metal is analyzed, for example by interpreting shadows it casts by candlelight. These predictions are however never taken seriously. The Finnish Broadcasting Company broadcasts the reception of the New Year at Helsinki Senate Square. Countdown to New Year is with the Helsinki Cathedral clock. In the afternoon program, the German comedy sketch Dinner for One is shown every year. On the radio, just before midnight, the poem Himilava Apollo, Smiling Apollo, by Aino Laino is read. France. In France, New Year's Eve, La Saint-Sylvestre, is usually celebrated with a feast, Le Réveillon de la Saint-Sylvestre, Cap d'Any in northern Catalonia. This feast customarily includes special dishes including foie gras, seafood such as oysters, and champagne. The celebration can be a simple, intimate dinner with friends and family or, une soirée dansante, a much fancier ball. On New Year's Day, Le Jour de l'An, friends and family exchange New Year's resolutions, kisses, and wishes. Some people eat ice cream. The holiday period ends on 6th of January with the celebration of Epiphany, Jour des Rois. A traditional type of flat pastry cake, la galette des rois, made of 2 sheets of puff pastry, filled with frangipane, almond paste, is eaten. The cake contains a fève, a small china doll. Whomever finds it becomes king or queen and gets to wear a gold paper crown and choose his or her partner. This tradition can last up to 2 weeks. Germany. In Germany, parties are common on New Year's Eve. Fireworks are very popular, both with individuals and at large municipal displays. 31st of December and the 3 days leading up to it are the only 4 days of the year on which fireworks may be sold in Germany. Every year Berlin hosts one of the largest New Year's Eve celebrations in all of Europe, attended by over 1 million people. The focal point is the Brandenburg Gate, where midnight fireworks are centered. Germans toast the New Year with a glass of Sekt, German sparkling wine, or champagne. Molibdomancy, Bleichtessen, is another German New Year's Eve tradition, which involves telling fortunes by the shapes made by molten lead dropped into cold water. Other auspicious actions are to touch a chimney sweep or rub some ash on your forehead for good luck and health. Jam-filled donuts with and without liquor fillings are eaten. Finally, a tiny marzipan pig is consumed for more good luck. In some northern regions of Germany, for example East Frisia, the making of Spekendicken, also Spektaken, is another tradition. People go door to door visiting their neighbors and partaking in this dish. It looks similar to a pancake, but the recipe calls for either dark molasses or dark syrup, topped with a few metwurst slices and bacon strips. Another notable tradition is the British comedy sketch Dinner for One, which has traditionally been broadcast on German television on New Year's Eve since 1972. The version traditionally broadcast on German television was originally recorded in 1963, and was occasionally used as filler programming by NDR due to popular demand. In 1972, Dinner for One received its traditional New Year's Eve scheduling. The sketch, as well as its catchphrase "the same procedure as every year," are well known in German pop culture. Dinner for one is also broadcast on or around New Year's Eve in other European countries, although it is, ironically, relatively unknown in the United Kingdom. Greece. New Year's Eve in Greece has many traditions. During the day, children sing the New Year's carols to be given money or treats. Then, it is time to have family lunch or dinner. In the evening, people cook a pie named King's Pie, Vasilopita locally, which is a cake flavored with almonds. Following tradition, they put a coin wrapped in aluminium foil inside the pie. During the family dinner, the hostess puts some of her jewelry in a plate and serves it in the side of the table, as a symbol of the coming year's prosperity. After the dinner is over, the dishes are not washed until the next day. The reason for that is that Saint Vasilis, Greek Santa Claus, is awaited during the New Year's Eve, and it is considered common courtesy to leave some food for the traveler who visits the house to bring the presents during the night. When midnight arrives, the families count down and then they turn off all the lights and reopen their eyes to enter the year with a new light. After the fireworks show, they cut the Vasilopita and serve it. The person that gets the wrapped coin is the lucky person of the day, and he is also blessed for the rest of the year. Gifts exchanges may follow. Hungary. New Year's Eve, Szilvester, in Hungary is celebrated with home parties and street parties, including a gathering in downtown Budapest. Fireworks and firecrackers are popular. Champagne, wine and traditional Hungarian New Year dishes, Frankfurter sausages with horseradish, lentil soup, fish, and roast pig, are consumed. The national anthem is commonly sung at midnight. In past centuries, some Hungarians believed that animals were able to speak on New Year's Eve, and that onion skins sprinkled with salt could indicate a rainy month. Hungarian Christian communities focus on celebrating Mass on both New Year's Eve and New Year's Day. Iceland. Fireworks are very popular in Iceland, particularly on New Year's Eve. Iceland's biggest New Year's Eve events are usually in and around the capital, Reykjavik. Áramótaskapið, the New Year's Comedy, is an annual Icelandic television comedy special, which is an important part of the new year for most. It focuses satirically on the past year, and shows little mercy for its victims, especially politicians, artists, prominent business people and activists. Ireland. New Year's Eve, Aka Chinbliana, Aka Nakodamwar, or Aka Shai, celebrations in major cities are modest, with most people favoring small parties in the home for family and friends. Italy. In Italy, New Year's Eve, Vigilia di Capodanno or Notte di San Silvestro, is celebrated by the observation of traditional rituals, such as wearing red underwear. An ancient tradition in southern regions which is rarely followed today was disposing of old or unused items by dropping them from the window. Dinner is traditionally eaten with relatives and friends. It often includes some pone or cotechino, a meal made with pig's trotters or entrails, and lentils. At 20:30, the president reads a television message of greetings to Italians. At midnight, fireworks are displayed all across the country. Rarely followed today is the tradition that consists in eating lentil stew when bell tolls midnight, 1 spoonful per bell. This is supposed to bring good fortune. The round lentils represent coins. Macedonia. New Year's Eve is celebrated across Macedonia. New Year's Day is celebrated by day-long fireworks shows. The day is celebrated together with family or friends at home or in restaurants, clubs, cafes and hotels. During the daytime celebration, children get gifts. Evening celebrations include food, music, and dancing to both traditional Macedonian folk music and modern music. New Year's Eve is celebrated on 31st of December and also on 14th of January according to the Macedonian Orthodox calendar. Malta. Malta organized its first New Year's street party in 2009 in Floriana. The event was not highly advertised and proved controversial, due to the closing of an arterial street for the day. In 2010 there were the first national celebrations in St. George's Square, Valletta. Although professional fireworks are very popular in Malta, they are almost totally absent on New Year's Eve. Usually the Maltese hit nightclubs and specific dance music parties to celebrate New Year's Eve. Montenegro. In Montenegro, New Year's Eve celebrations are held in all large cities, usually accompanied by fireworks. It is usually celebrated with family or friends, at home or outside. Restaurants, clubs, cafes and hotels organize celebrations with food and music. Netherlands. New Year's Eve, Oud Nieuw or Oudejaarsavond, in the Netherlands is usually celebrated as a cozy evening with family or friends, although many people attend big organized parties. Traditional snack foods are liebolen, oil dumplings, and appel beignets, apple slice fritters. On television, the main feature is the Oudejaarsconference, a performance by one of the major Dutch cabaretiers, comparable to stand-up comedy, but more serious, generally including a satirical review of the year's politics. Historically, in Reformed Protestant families, some 90 is read, although this tradition is now fading away. At midnight, glühwein, bishop's wine, or champagne is drunk. Many people light their own fireworks. Towns do not organize a central fireworks display, except for Rotterdam where the national fireworks display can be seen near the Erasmus Bridge. Norway. In Norway, New Year's Eve, Nyttårsaften, is the second biggest celebration of the year, after Christmas Eve. While Christmas Eve is a family celebration, New Year's Eve is an opportunity to celebrate with friends. Traditionally, there is first a feast, commonly consisting of stuffed, roast turkey with potatoes, sprouts, gravy and Waldorf salad. The accompanying beverage is traditionally beer, commonly either Christmas beer or lager beer. Dessert will often be vanilla pudding or rice cream, and there will be cakes and coffee later in the evening, commonly accompanied by a glass of cognac. Then, at close to 12 a.m. on New Year's Day, people will go outside to send up fireworks. Fireworks are only permitted to be sold to the general public on the days leading up to New Year's Eve, and only to be launched that night. Due to the general use of fireworks, more fires occur on New Year's Eve than on any other day of the year in Norway. Accordingly, most Norwegian cities, and many towns, host a large, public fireworks display in order to discourage private use of fireworks in built-up areas. People will then congregate in a central square or similar to watch and celebrate. Poland. In Poland, New Year's Eve, Sylvester, celebrations include both indoor and outdoor festivities. A large open-air concert is held in the main square in Krakow. 150,000 to 200,000 revelers celebrate the new year with live music and a fireworks display over St. Mary's Basilica. Similar festivities are held in other cities around Poland. For those who do not wish to spend the new year in the city, the mountains are a popular destination. Zakopane, located in the Carpathian Mountains, is the most popular Polish mountain resort in winter. Also, New Year's Eve, Sylvester, celebrations are in Katowice, near the Spodek Arena. In Slovakia, people tour the streets dressed up as bearded men. Portugal. In Portugal, the New Year celebration is taken very seriously. The tradition is to drink champagne and eat 12 raisins, one for each month of the year, making a wish for each. Another Portuguese tradition is a special cake called bolo rei, literally, king cake. Bolo rei is a round cake with a large hole in the center, resembling a crown covered with crystallized and dried fruit. It is baked from a soft, white dough, with raisins, various nuts and crystallized fruit. Inside is hidden the characteristic fava, broad bean. Tradition dictates that whoever finds the fava has to pay for the bolo rei next year. Initially, a small prize, usually a small metal toy, was also included within the cake. However, the inclusion of the prize was forbidden by the European Union for safety reasons. The Portuguese brought the recipe of the gâteau des rois from France in the second half of the 19th century. To this day, this recipe is a very well-kept secret. In Lisbon, the New Year is celebrated with a grand concert. The New Year's concert is held at the CCB, Centro Cultural de Belém, on the evening of 1st of January, featuring the prestigious Lisbon Metropolitan Orchestra. Romania. Traditional celebrations of New Year's Eve, Revelion, are the norm in Romania. Romanians follow centuries-old customs, rituals, and conventions. Children sing Plugasorul and Cercova, traditional carols that wish goodwill, happiness and success. Parties are common in the evening. Since the Romanian Revolution of 1989, Romanians have gathered in the University Square in Bucharest. Other significant parties occur in Piața Constituției. New Year's Eve is also marked by a national all-night telecast on Romanian television, which also celebrates its anniversary on this holiday, having opened its doors in the New Year's Eve of 1956. Russia. The most prominent public celebration of the New Year is held at Moscow's Red Square under the Kremlin clock, whose chimes at midnight are traditionally followed by the playing of the Russian national anthem, and a fireworks display. The president's New Year's speech is traditionally televised shortly before midnight in each time zone, reflecting on the previous year and the state of the country. Celebrations of the New Year in Russia are modeled upon traditions derived from Christmas. In the early 20th century, due to the Communist Party's stance of state atheism and a larger series of anti-religious policies, the celebration of Christmas and other religious holidays was widely discouraged, with Christmas trees in particular being singled out for being a tradition originating from Germany, a World War I enemy, and being a symbol of the bourgeoisie. In 1935, Soviet politician Pavel Postyshev and other high-ranking officials began to promote the concept of New Year trees, yolka, as a wide, secular tradition, representing happiness and prosperity among youth. Even with the reinstatement of religious holidays after the dissolution of the Soviet Union, Novy God has remained a popular celebration in modern Russian. Ded Moroz, Grandfather Frost, is presented as an equivalent to the character of Santa Claus, delivering presents to children for New Year's Day. The Soviet film The Irony of Fate, which is set during the New Year's holiday, is a staple in former Soviet countries. It is often broadcast by Russian television channels on New Year's Eve, to the extent that it has been compared to the traditional broadcast of It's a Wonderful Life on Christmas Eve in the United States. On 13th of January, some of people celebrate Old New Year, according to the Julian calendar. Serbia. New Year's Eve in Serbia is traditionally celebrated extensively. Indoors, families celebrate New Year's Eve with an abundance of food. Serbs decorate trees, Novogodišnja, at New Year's Eve, rather than at Christmas Eve. Near, or after midnight, Santa Claus, Deda Mraz, visits houses and leaves presents under the tree, to be unpacked then or, if the family is asleep, to be discovered in the morning. Serbian New Year's celebrations take place in Belgrade, and several other major cities such as Novi Sad and Nis. As of mid-December, cities are extensively decorated and lit. The decorations remain until way into January due to the influence of the Julian calendar. Throughout the region, especially amongst former Yugoslav republics, Belgrade is the most popular destination for major parties. On 13th of January, a large part of the population celebrates Serbian New Year, according to the Julian calendar. Usually one concert is organized in front of either City Hall or the National Parliament in Belgrade, while fireworks are prepared by the Serbian Orthodox Church and fired from the Cathedral of St. Sava, where people also gather. Other cities also organize such celebrations. Slovenia. In Slovenia, New Year's Eve is known as a St. Sylvester's Day, Silvestrovo. Streets are decorated for the whole December. In larger cities like Ljubljana, Maribor, Celje or Koper there are concerts, culture program and countdown followed by fireworks. There is also special program on the national TV. Tradition is that family comes together and have a dinner. At midnight, people toast with champagne, wish each other a happy new year, fortune and health. People have already decorated the Christmas tree before Christmas and children are waiting for the third good man of December, Dedek Mraz. Spain. Spanish New Year's Eve, Noche Vieja or Fin de Año, celebrations usually begin with a family dinner, traditionally including shrimp or prawns, and lamb or capon. The actual countdown is primarily followed from the clock on top of the Casa de Correos building in Puerta del Sol Square in Madrid. It is traditional to eat 12 grapes, one on each chime of the clock. This tradition has its origins in 1909, when grape growers in Alicante thought of it as a way to cut down on the large production surplus they had had that year. Nowadays, the tradition is followed by almost every Spaniard, and the 12 grapes have become synonymous with the new year. After the clock has finished striking 12, people greet each other and toast with sparkling wine such as cava or champagne, or with cider. The song Un Año Más, by the Spanish group Mecano, is frequently played. Earlier in the evening at around 2000 hours, there is a 10K run called San Silvestre Vallecana, which starts on Paseo de la Castellana, next to Santiago Bernabéu Stadium, and ends at the Vallecas Stadium. Professional runners come to Madrid for this 10K. After the family dinner and the grapes, many young people attend cotillones de Nochevieja parties, named for the Spanish word cotilón, which refers to party supplies like confetti, party blowers, and party hats, at pubs, clubs, and similar places. Parties usually last until the next morning and range from small, personal celebrations at local bars to huge parties with guests numbering the thousands at hotel convention rooms. Early the next morning, party attendees usually gather to have the traditional winter breakfast of hot chocolate and fried pastry, chocolate conchurros. Sweden. In Sweden, New Year's Eve is usually celebrated with families or with friends. A few hours before and after midnight, people usually party and eat a special dinner, often 3 courses. New Year's Eve is celebrated with large fireworks displays throughout the country, especially in the cities. People over the age of 18 are allowed to buy fireworks, which are sold by local stores or by private persons. While watching or lighting fireworks at midnight, people usually drink champagne. Switzerland. In Switzerland, New Year's Eve is typically celebrated in private gatherings or public events. The final of the Spengler Cup ice hockey tournament is traditionally held on New Year's Eve. Turkey. Numerous decorations and customs traditionally associated with Christmas and Bayrams are part of secular New Year's Eve celebrations in Turkey. Homes and streets are lit in glittering lights. Small gifts are exchanged, and large family dinners are organized with family and friends, featuring a special turkey dish stuffed with azandi currant, pine nuts, pimento and diliz pilav, dolma, hot pork, baklava, and various other Turkish dishes, accompanied with rak, Turkish wine, orboza, sherbet, salep, and Turkish tea or coffee. Even though Turkish people generally do not celebrate Christmas, decorating Christmas trees is a very popular tradition on New Year's Eve in Turkey, and the Turks associate Santa Claus with New Year's Eve. Television and radio channels are known to continuously broadcast a variety of special New Year's Eve programs, while municipalities all around the country organize fundraising events for the poor, in addition to celebratory public shows such as concerts and family-friendly events, as well as more traditional forms of entertainment such as the Karagöz and Hasavat Shadow Theater, and even performances by the Mater, the Janissary band that was founded during the days of the Ottoman Empire. Public and private parties with large public attendances are organized in a number of cities and towns, particularly in the largest metropolitan areas such as Istanbul, Ankara, Izmir, Adana, Bursa, and Antalya, with the biggest celebrations taking place in Istanbul's Taksim, Beyoğlu, Nisantas and Kadıköy districts and Ankara's Kızılay Square, which generally feature dancing, concerts, laser and light shows as well as the traditional countdown and fireworks display. Ukraine. In the countries that were formerly part of the Soviet Union, New Year's has the same cultural significance as Christmas has in the United States, but without the religious connotations. Ukrainian families traditionally install spruce trees at home, the equivalent of a Christmas tree. Families gather to eat a large feast and reflect on the past year. They have a large celebration, make toasts, and make wishes for a happy new year. Families give presents to their friends as well as informal acquaintances. As Ukrainians are traditionally a closely knit community, it is seen as a taboo to not give presents to those the family associates with. Children stay up until midnight, waiting for the new year. During these celebrations many Ukrainians tune to special New Year shows, which have become a long-standing tradition for the Ukrainian TV. And just before midnight the President of Ukraine gives his New Year's message to the nation, and when the clock strikes 12, the national anthem Shnid Murla Ukraina is played in all TV and radio stations as well as in Independence Square in Kiev and other cities where holiday celebrations are held. The first New Year dish in Ukraine which associates with the New Year for every Ukrainian person is the Olivier salad. It has become the main character of many jokes and anecdotes. There are several versions about where the name Olivier comes from, but most people say that it appeared thanks to the French chef Olivier, who lived in the USSR in the 1960s and was the owner of a French restaurant in Moscow. He was the first one to cook this dish. Nowadays this salad is also called Russian, potato and meat salad. New Year is often considered a pre-celebration for Greek Catholics and Eastern Orthodox living in Eastern Europe, primarily in Ukraine, since Christmas is celebrated on 7th of January. United Kingdom. England. The most prominent New Year's celebration in England is that of central London, where the arrival of midnight is greeted with the chimes of Big Ben. In recent years, a major fireworks display has also been held, with fireworks launched from the nearby London Eye Ferris wheel. On New Year's Eve 2010, an estimated 250,000 people gathered to view an 8-minute fireworks display around and above the London Eye, which was, for the first time, set to a musical soundtrack. The celebrations in London continued into 1st of January, with a New Year's Day parade, held annually since 1987. The 2011 parade involved more than 10,000 musicians, cheerleaders and performers. Other major New Year events are held in the cities of Birmingham, Manchester, Leeds, Liverpool, and Newcastle. Scotland. In Scotland, New Year's, Hogmanay, is celebrated with several different customs, such as first footing, which involves friends or family members going to each other's houses with a gift of whiskey and sometimes a lump of coal. Edinburgh, the Scottish capital, hosts one of the world's most famous New Year celebrations. The celebration is focused on a major street party along Princes Street. The cannon is fired at Edinburgh Castle at the stroke of midnight, followed by a large fireworks display. Edinburgh hosts a festival of 4 or 5 days, beginning on 28th of December, and lasting until New Year's Day or 2nd of January, which is also a bank holiday in Scotland. Other cities across Scotland, such as Aberdeen, Glasgow and Stirling, have large organised celebrations too, including fireworks at midnight. BBC Scotland broadcast the celebrations in Edinburgh to a Scottish audience, with the celebrations also screened across the world. STV covers both worldwide New Year celebrations, and details of events happening around Scotland. Wales. The Welsh tradition of giving gifts and money on New Year's Day, Welsh, Calennig, is an ancient custom that survives in modern-day Wales, though nowadays it is now customary to give bread and cheese. Thousands of people descend every year on Cardiff to enjoy live music, catering, ice skating, fun fairs and fireworks. Many of the celebrations take place at Cardiff Castle and Cardiff City Hall. Every New Year's Eve, the Nos Galan road race, Rasis Nos Galan, a 5-kilometre, 3.1 miles, running race, is held in Mountain Ash in the Cynon Valley, Rhondda Cynon Taf, South Wales. The race celebrates the life and achievements of Welsh runner Gwyddonydd Bran. Founded in 1958 by local runner Bernard Baldwin, it is run over the 5-kilometre route of Gwyddon's first competitive race. The main race starts with a church service at Llanwino, and then a wreath is laid on Gwyddon's grave in Llanwino graveyard. After lighting a torch, it is carried to the nearby town of Mountain Ash, where the main race takes place. The race consists of a double circuit of the town centre, starting in Henry Street and ending in Oxford Street, by the commemorative statue of Gwyddon. Traditionally, the race was timed to end at midnight, but in recent times it was rescheduled for the convenience of family entertainment, now concluding at around 9 p.m. This has resulted in a growth in size and scale, and the proceedings now start with an afternoon of street entertainment and fun run races for children, concluding with the church service, elite runners race and presentations.